There are three parts of my presentation. A. Part 1. Bringing Peace to Violently Troubled Minds. www.bobsmentalillness.com. This is a presentation about my, Robert Franz's, new ebook, Bob Does Everything Backwards, Writing Out of an Illness. I am just like a black bear that climbs a suburban tree. All the humans look up at the bear in the branches, point and say, "We have to tranquilize the bear." The humans say this because of their own needs. Yet there is nothing wrong with the bear. Why can't they not let him go about his own business? Don't they know that in most cases they can? Some in this society have designated me as mentally ill. Therefore, some want me filled with pills. Yet I can trust myself to not be upset and to not be violent. Why can't they not let me be myself? Drugs and medicine are involved from my life to Charlie Sheen's life, all the way to guys who shoot up victims with bullets and bombs. In certain other cases, victims are spared because of the good training and learned behavior of the mentally ill, and or lack of access to weapons. On the other hand, in particular cases where patients are forced and strong-armed to take medicine, the result is that strife compounds strife. Kindness and caring are not given, and patients are treated harshly. Don't we as humans learn to treat others as we have been treated? What does a patient do when members of the mental health team basically do not like him? What recourse does the individual have? Let's look at what's really happening. Black bears, like humans, have a hypothalamus in their brain, except that the one in humans is a little larger. In the hypothalamus is a natural brain chemicals that reach a balance and affect behavior. A natural good workout can affect these chemicals and positively affect mood and thought. Why then should we ingest complex and unnatural drugs and chemicals into our brain systems when many times these foreign drugs have caused aberrant, angry thoughts and erratic, violent behaviors? For example, phenothiazines or major tranquilizers are prescribed to many mental patients. It is very difficult to stop taking many of these antipsychotics once a patient has begun a regimen of this medicine. There is a possibility that the brain structure actually changes in patients that have taken these chemicals over time. Withdrawal is difficult and dangerous and can actually reintroduce psychosis. Antidepressants have varying effects. Some, like Wellbutrin or Chantix, diminish the desire to use tobacco products and nicotine. But at the same time, a patient can feel sudden suicidal ideations which can lead to self-inflicted violence. There is a danger with antidepressants, especially when one feels the chemical med rush. We also know that Valium and Xanax can cause a high in dependence. Withdrawal is strong and freedom is difficult. No one really knows what is going on in an individual when taking medicine cocktails or when one is withdrawing from a substance. Doctors, too, do not always know what's happening. They do not know if patients are consistently taking the medicine prescribed to them. Are they getting high on other drugs? In short, it is natural to assume that some people are withdrawing from certain drugs while being high on others, a recipe for erratic behavior and more violence. This is true considering that over 1/5 of the adult population in the United States have been prescribed at least one psychiatric drug at some point in their lives. Black bears do not have these problems. It is essential to work with realistic, objective psychiatrists when medicine therapy is administered. We need better support and wisdom as to how to get on and off of chemicals. For those who are rogue or rebellious, there needs to be more supervision and implicit direction. Doctors are needed in mental health as journeymen who would help and teach apprentice patients. As far as violence is concerned, I want to make the point that most all species of animals do not kill just for the sake of killing. Certain small cats, such as bobcats, lynx, and the domesticated kitty, stalk and kill more than they would eat, indiscriminately. Humans have this tendency too. Just look at the history of the 20th century. Violence can be in most humans and not just the mentally ill. Questions on this issue need to be discussed. We all need more kindness and caring. My wife asks, what does indiscriminate killing have to do with mental illness? I say everything. The human species, all of mankind, is mentally ill. To stop violence and to bring more peace of mind, there may be a small segment of the population who should ingest balanced medicine. But are we not to consider our ability to learn and be trained to not be rough on each other? The roles of family and education need to step up instead of totally relying on the realms of medicine and religion. Through that act of teaching, we can learn the dangers of fleeting highs and arduous, treacherous withdrawals. Psychiatrist medicines hit society in the mid-20th century like mud splattering on an electric fan. Many people want to try all the new chemicals. Now in the 21st century, we need to know how to use medicines while having the prudence to show kindness and caring. Using the principles of moderation, we can see the similarities of our brains outweigh the differences. Our society must now improve at the community level by teaching all individuals values with good science. It is time to take the violence out of our minds. See the ebook, Bob Does Everything Backwards, Writing Out of Illness. B. Bringing Peace to Violently Troubled Minds, Part 2. Please keep in mind psychologist Albert Ellis of the early 20th century, who stated that we humans disturb ourselves in our own minds when there is nothing else to think about. Many times our minds are disturbed and just need quieting. Here are some questions and considerations to look at. Is the purpose of diagnosis to define prognosis and treatment? If not, then it is just another tool leading to stigma. What are the ways of defining stigma and reducing it? Do all of us, patients and practitioners, take our parts and understand the personal inventories we take as individuals in the medical system? Are we good to everyone in the system? We are taught of the pills that will cure our ills and the exaggerated myths of Santa Claus. Why can't we be taught through our family and educational systems of the values of tolerance, patience, kindness, and caring when dealing with mental illness? Only in recent years have I heard about mood stabilization. Wouldn't it be healthier to deal with this concept instead of getting all wrapped up in John Hinckley's or Mark David Chapman's mental constructs? Mood stabilization, no matter what the aberrant thought, may be an answer to stopping some psychiatric violence. In many schools, it is advised to diagnose autism at an early age. Please consider that 30 years ago, many bipolar or schizophrenic diagnoses could be on the autism spectrum today. In early recovery, I did not know how to care for myself with discipline treatment. How can we teach today's patients to be masters of the ordinary in their lives? We honor our athletes and our astronauts. Why don't we honor our mental patients who are willing to experiment with trial drugs and new treatment? They are heroes too. Personally, I want to prove that in my life, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, affected me early at the age of 21. It was violence perpetuated onto me, and not that I was developmentally disabled, which caused my mental problems. Now I just want to be a normal good guy. We need doctors who can get us off pills as well as those who can get us on pills. In conclusion, what view has this mental illness given me? There was a time when I saw a spiritual world with all humans dressed and acting like a troop of monkeys. It was like watching Planet of the Apes with all the apes dressed in robes, worshiping in religious orthodoxy. Furthermore, when I was served another mammal's flesh to eat, I felt we were being made to be cannibalistic. Even today, these thoughts make me wonder and give me goose flesh. Then, upon awakening from this nightmare, a change had come over me. I had to take the role of an adult male in society. 1. I had to believe that however small my contribution, it would be of value to our community. 2. I had to know of explicit rules and where they came from. Laws, police, government, science, morals and basic tenets, religion, basic spirituality. And 3. I had to care for myself while reaching out to others. My illness caused me to act younger than I really was. I was truly immature. I had to take the responsibility of discipline and care for myself, something which I had pulled away from as a child and teenager. In short, it became necessary to learn grade school and middle school disciplines in young adulthood. The myths and all or nothing beliefs that the medical and religious realms offered did not inspire and then became dry. True values I could hold on to came instead from family and educational areas. You may find my beliefs in my ebook, Bob Does Everything Backwards, Writing Out of an Illness. Please go to the website www.bobsmentalillness.com. At this point, we need to look at what we need to learn and master. C. Bringing Peace to Violently Troubled Minds, Part 3. Here is a solution for us. To bring peace to violently troubled minds, it is necessary for every individual in the community to grow through emotional, mental, and spiritual stages. We need to increase naturally into maturity by progressing through developmental stages. Teachers in school guide us as we move from K through 5, grade school, to 6 through 8, middle school. What is learned in these early years is used in the later maturation of each individual. Even if intellectually we are all not on the same plane, we can be similar in the levels of emotional maturity. If I do not learn social development at an early age, then I will have to learn it when I'm older. For example, biting my nails, pacing, and hedonistic pleasures, I did not stop until my 20s and 30s. As a result, I did not stop smoking and drinking until I was almost 40. Substitution of negative ways with good habits and effort aided me into moving in an improved direction. It is my assumption that immaturity begets violence. A further assumption is that maturity, as the opposite of immaturity, can be learned both emotionally and intellectually. This means that strife and violence can be stopped from the outset. We must work to have a good and clean life. How is this shown? An image I use is a teddy bear with a lit fuse on a bomb in his lap. This not only shows mankind's tendency of innocence versus cruel violence, but a human dichotomy as well, and danger. Do we feed the grizzly bear or the teddy bear in each one of us? Just which one is to be dominant? How are we to teach others who are in a quest for development? It may be true that for this race, both carrots and sticks are needed. Yet for this bear, it is valued that honey works better than vinegar. I believe the hypothesis that encouragement helps us stand tall and have courage, while inspiration moves to motivate. We must allow for maturity to develop in each individual and supervise those sad souls where it does not grow. Critical attitudes lengthen the miles, while tolerance and patience bring warm smiles. Peace to you now and always. Robert Franz. www.bobsmentalillness.com. Thank you very much.